So, if the width of the bone is 10 millimeter, okay, so your screw at most could be 20%. If it's 10, it's going to be 2 millimeter. Did you get the point? Okay, 20% at most. How are you? You're new. And okay. And the other rule, orthopedic rule, was when you are calculating the width of the pins, when you are calculating the width of the screws, it must be at most up to equal to the width of the bone. So, if you have 2 millimeter for each pin or each screw, so, and the whole of the width of the bone gonna be, for instance, 10, 2 and 10. So, at most, you can use 5 screw for this fracture, right? Did you get the point? When we see there are 7 screw here, it's 2 times a little, about 4 millimeter over that normal size. So it's increased risk of fracture. Increased risk of fracture. Is it wrong? Probably it was because of the limitation of the surgeon. Surgeon did it because we wanted to provide a kind of stability for the area, or we wanted to provide a kind of stable situation for multiply fragments. Okay, he had to do that. There is nothing wrong here. But for you as a physio, when you have a look to the x-ray, see such a kind of limitation here, okay, you know that, okay, this bone right now with 7 screw might be a little fragile. You know the meaning of fragile? No. It's easy to be rebroken. Okay, the risk of refracture is high. So when I'm working on this patient, I try to consider some actually comfort situation, or probably postpone some of the maneuver. Just a little late, not 2 months. Just for instance, 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, 1 week, that's it. Be much comfortable, be much actually soft about the patient. Do not use it in a harsh way. Risk of refracture. So you must be curious, you must think that there is no refracture for this patient. It's very important to know that. Okay, so you know both of these actually concepts are looking for the stability. They are, what is the whole of the name? Devices? ORIF. O-R-I-F. Do you remember ORIF? You kill me finally. ORIF, please, Tura, what does that? You're so tired. Open reduction internal fixation. Yes, please. O-R-I-F. ORIF. O-R-I-F. Open reduction internal fixation. Come back. The first issue you are looking in any kind of fracture. What is that? Immobilization. You need stability. You need a stability. The most important thing, any kind of fracture. Do you remember the healing process? Inflammation, modeling, remodeling. Okay. Without stability, you cannot move further. The first item you are looking for for stability, immobilization. Who is responsible about that? The physician, the orthopedic surgeon. Okay. But you, as a person who will be involved with this, will be the patient. For instance, after 3-4 days, up to long period of time, you must be curious, you must be thankful, you must be alert about the immobilization, stability, And all of your approaches must be done in a way that there is no problem for the stability, step by step. Okay, so there is a kind of different type of stability for the clavicle. Why we do have different type? Is it possible to provide a kind of cast here?
No.
How can I do that?
Cast. No, we can't.
On the head, cast. Because of the anatomic situation, anatomic figure. So it's not possible to use the cast for the clavicle. So we are using a kind of a special dressing. Special dressing. We call it
Supplement? No.
view. What did you say? Well-pot dressing. Okay? And the other one is a figure of 8 dressing. It's like an 8 in English. Figure of 8. It's such a kind of, I'm not sure, some people use it in Iran. They call it a kind of curve band something. They protect them in an upright situation. Probably you have it, probably, I'm not sure. It's exactly like that. Curve band. They bring it back to move up straight forward. Okay. So we say that this is a figure of 8, and the other one is well dressing in this way, in this adduction, internal rotation. Keep it in a stable situation, and they are method of immobilization, stability. They are method of stability for the fracture of clavicle, not for the fracture of patellar, for the fracture of the clavicle. Okay? So we can use, that means we can use, come on. So probably it's better to get open up. How can I make it bigger?
Blade from third word.
Okay, here?
No.
On the
Left side.
On the
Blade. Blade.
Play.
Yes.
Yes, first.
Full screen.
First page.
Not first page, this is 8
No.
page.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Which kind of yes you say? Yes. Okay. Play, current page, auto play, no auto. If you can record one, probably current page. Yes. I'm right. I'm right. Okay, it's better. So the clavian artery is beyond the clavicle. Subclavian, sorry. Okay, so both of them are method of stability. Sometimes you need the ORIF when exactly at the time you have a kind of displaced area. There is a kind of distance between two types of the fragments, or there is a kind of angulation, 45 degrees or more than that. You do remember from the first semester. Okay, and then you have actually type of the dressing is a kind of another type of the stability, and when you use it at the time you don't have any kind of displacement. You after surgery and provide a kind of reduction, bring it to normal alignment. You use a kind of dressing to make it stable. Any question? No, everything is fine. Good. Any of these long stories of the bones, all of them, does have method of ossification, bone healing process. How many types of bone healing do we have? 4. Ariel, 4?
Yes.
You accept everything which I say. How many type of ossification? How many type of healing process? Come on, hoorah. Healing process. How many type of healing process? Your address, Mustafa. You are in the 10 type of healing process. You have it. Two. With a kind of mediator and without a kind of mediator. We call it direct ossification, indirect, or with a kind of chondrome, cartilage mediator. Endochondral bone ossification, intramembranous bone ossification. For the compact bone, for the cancellous bone. You don't remember. This is the first time which I've ever hear something. I know your professor didn't tell any of them. Come on, ladies, Mustafa, come on. This is the point. I thought that probably they are much harder compared to you. I'm talking about the 13th actually students. But when you are learning something, this is part of your job. You must repeat it, practice it, repeat it again and again and again. You need them. It's a kind of accumulation. Please transfer the in Arabic. It's a kind of accumulation. You are heading up on the bottom of the knowledge. You have the bottom of knowledge. Don't just lose it. When you hear something, it's not just for your exam. You must keep it on your mind. The concept. I'm not talking about just taking in your mind 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1. No, the concept of pathophysiology. You need them for your work, for your actually next future job. Okay, you need it. This is not a complicated question. How many types of the healing process? You know that. How many types of healing process do we have? 2 types. With a cartilage mediator and without cartilage. We call it endochondral. That is for compact bone. Compact, you know the compact bone?
Yes.
Hopefully. And the cancellous spongy bone. A spongy bone is direct. But compact bone is with the mediator of cartilage. Why we need cartilage? Because we need much stability. Why? Because of the tissue situation. In the compact bone you have Hauersian system. You do remember Hauersian system? Okay. The spongy bone don't have any Hauersian system, just some sponge. So it takes much stronger because cartilage is going there and fibrocartilage is absorbing, reaching to the deposit, making bony, and the other one is direct. It's sooner but looser. There's no cartilage. I'm talking about the epiphyse. It's sooner because direct transfer from the mesenchymal stem cell to osteoblast. Okay, it's sooner reaching. Because here you have a moderate cartilage, you don't have any moderate here. Just very directly going to the osteoblast. So it's sooner to osteoblast, but this is not a well-organized structural tissue. This is well-organized, Hauersian system. This is not a well-organized, it's sponge, like a kind of sponge. You can break it very simple. But you cannot break a Hauersian system. It's not possible. Very strong. Okay, you do remember. So you need it. Please do not lose, do not leave them after exam. Keep it in your mind. This is not a harsh task. You need them. I bring some. What did you say? In Farsi we call it calf. So, such a kind of watching your mouth. We call it calf. I bring some calf in my mouth. Okay, so Shah, how are you? Okay, we concentrate on the topic. Okay, so we will have two different types of the ossification. Intramembranosus, which is for cancellous form, epiphytes, and it's going directly, very soon attach, okay, probably 14 days, but it's very loose, it's not very strong. You understand right now. Or endochondral bone ossification. We have a mediator, cartilage, bridge of cartilage. We have a very famous important issue, we call it third cortical bridging. Third cortical bridging. We have 3 or 4 bridge cortex, which is happen in ossification with mediator. Endochondral bone ossification, compact bone. It's for compact bone, Haversian system, and it's very strong, takes a little time because of mediator, but it's very strong. Which one is better? So this one is very better because it's much strong, much powerful to tolerate the force, okay? So we do 2 actually type of the bone ossification. Each of these fracture, each of them does a specific type of ossification. So we must remember, reminding that which one relates to which fracture. So in the fractures of the clavicle, mostly refers to actually endochondral, because most of the structure of the bone is compact, and also at the same time intramembranosus at 2 ends of the bone for the clavicle. And what about the full circulation? Circulation is important in bone healing. Why?
Because the transport blood.
We need blood.
Yes.
Do you remember cutting comb? Lose after the exam, lose all of information at the side. Cutting comb is a kind of pyramid, starting with some osteoclast,
Yes, hematoma.
then osteoblast coming down, and after that they will be following with some capillary.
Yes.
Cutting comb. Okay, so you need capillary. Without capillary, you don't have food or oxygen. So it's gonna be osteoporosis. You do remember osteoporosis in healing. Okay. So when you see that there is a full circulation, it's good. Thanks God, it's good. Because the circulation is fine, so we are estimating that everything gonna be okay for the healing process. If we don't have good circulation, we may be being at risk of non-union or delay union. At the risk of non-union or delay union. Okay, so the example, neck of the femur. The example, scapula. They have not good circulation there. Okay, for the tubercle of the navicular. Okay, anything else? There are expected time of healing process. Expected time for healing process is about 6 to 12 weeks. Why there is a range? Why not exactly a week? Because there are different people with different ages, different character, different type of the fracture. One line of fracture, stable fracture, or multiply complicated parts of the fracture, fragments. And because of that, we consider kind of range, 6 to 12 weeks for the healing process of the clavicle. Expected time for the rehab. They have both, does have common starting time. So when you are saying that 6 to 12 weeks, you need time for the healing of process, that means 6 weeks, up to 6 weeks, and then 10 to 12. That means actually they are compact. That means whole of the process of the healing and also rehab must be accomplished up to 12 weeks, 3 months. This is normal time. it's not meaning that you stay for 3 months and then 3 months again for the rehab. It's not correct. You must cover everything in initial 3 months. That's it, done. Okay. If you have over that 4 months, 5 months, you are postponed. You are at risk of delay union. Okay, everything. Something is wrong here. You must solve it. You must actually provide the treatment, better treatment. Okay. Oh my God. So the purpose of medical approaches is very important. We repeated it time and again for all of the fracture. It's very important because I want to bring it on your mind 3,000 times. The purpose of the medical treatments is first stability, second alignment, mixed together. The purpose of medical practitioner. The purpose of yourself, ROM, muscle and power, function. Do you remember? My main job is pain, function, pain and function. Yes, pain and function. Sorry. And power, increasing power. And muscle and power, function, range is part of function. Increasing power is for pain and increasing function. Okay. So why they changed the structure? Isn't changing in your screen or not? This screen.
No.
So have a look on the screen. It's not saying. So it's fine. It's fine. Oh look, they are mixed together. It's fine. Okay, the point is, well, there is a key. You know, there are lots of days, weeks. It's not possible to remind all of them. Just please learn the process. And based on the scientific process, you can guess what is the appropriate time. No need to reminding just as a kind of memory, part of your memory. Your brain doesn't have enough space to remind all of them. Just learn the process, you can easily get the right decision. So, there's a key to use this chart. Anything that's going to be new in any pages is in different color. When you see that avoid any movement in shoulder, this is the most important issue. Okay? When you change the space, when you change the slide, it might be in a normal color and the new one might be a new color. So there is a completely simple task to learn. And as far as you're moving in the further slides, you see that, for instance, it's going to be important here, so the signs are similar. Probably after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no need to check it. There is not just unexpected happening. So it's gradually heading decrease the chance or the risk, anything. You will get it through the next actually slides. For instance, there are new approaches at the weeks 1 to 3. Okay? The first important approaches in the first week, first slide. Avoid any kind of movement in the shoulder when you have a problem with surgery, without surgery, anything in clavicle. In the second and third week, it's very important to consider abduction and external rotation. Why? Because abduction and external rotation is the main important style of dislocation, main important position for dislocation. So find it, abduction and external rotation, or deltoid. It's very important to start deltoid at the time of 1 to 3. 1 to 3. a gentle and pendular exercise, you do know this pendular exercise or something like that. So have a look a little further. A strengthening exercise of deltoid, okay? In a sling, very small. Have a look to your screen.
No.
Very small. That means
Not small. No. Small. Big.
so why you have a small one? Probably you changed something in your PDF.
Yes.
Probably. It's very small. That means actually it's important. And you consider that, but right now at the week 4, the risk is very low. The risk is covered. But still think about that. Did you get my meaning? This is the key for using this slide. Make the treatment easy for you. The approach is easy for you. Or when you are heading further, reach to, come on, this should be another step. I think probably it's better to use the smaller actually picture. I think. So review the treatment after the clavicle surgery. For the first week, you must avoid any kind of movement in shoulder. Why? Immobilization. If you don't consider what is happening, returning inflammation. Everything that you saw from the first. So, as far as you are repeating it, you are at risk of non-union, delay union. After a while, the bone is not healed. After a while, non-union. It's not possible to repeat it times. So, immobilization is very important. Okay.
Just an elbow?
No, I'm talking with clavicle. We are talking just for clavicle, nothing else.
This line?
Yes.
Elbow?
Where is elbow?
3 for
Clavicular fracture.
3 to 4 days.
Oh, okay. You mean no, shoulder, not elbow. You can consider elbow, but it's not important as much as shoulder. You can consider elbow, but it's not important as much shoulder. Okay, so the most important issue is no movement in shoulder, okay? You can start, come on, ladies, you can start some simple movement. Which kind of movements? Where? I told you there is no movement in shoulder. So is it possible to use movement? No movement in shoulder. So when I'm telling you, okay, active and passive movement, where?
Rest on
Very free, somehow free, and probably very free. Okay, so there is nothing that you let to do and provide a kind of instability, break the immobilization on this level in first week. So they break everything. You must consider about immobilization. Okay, and so you can use, as far as you are heading, you are closing to the area, you must be much thinkful about the stability. So, here there is no problem, but in elbow might be a little problem. Why? Because there are some muscle who works for both of them. Biceps, triceps. Okay, we must be curious that we must consider stability for the area in the first week. One more point. If I have to do some movement, which one provides lower tension? Middle range or the fine range? Middle range. Do remember, they are key. No need to bring it on your mind. They are key, they are similar. Okay? Which type of exercise you start your work? Isometric, concentric, eccentric, isokinetic. We started with isokinetic. Good. You can kill your patient with the isokinetic. You can guarantee see the patient for next 10 years. It's good. It's good for the body. We will start with the isometric. We will continue. Which one is better? Concentric, eccentric. Which one does have lower tension? Concentric or eccentric? Concentric. Next, eccentric. Isometric. The ending stage. Isometric. Okay. So, gait. Okay. You can walk, but when we are talking about the gait, we think about walking. Okay. But we have a kind of pendular, we have a pendular actually movement on the shoulder, right? So we think about the shoulder. Just be curious about the pendular movement of shoulder. Okay.
We should avoid this.
Yes, you have a protection. There is a velvet dressing here, but probably your patient turn it off. I mean the screen and use it in a normal way. It's not correct. You must remind them. You must tell him soon. Okay, aware of arm swinging. Anything else? Everything is fine. So, for the first week up to the third week, everything's gonna be a little better. The most important restricted movement in abduction, external rotation. This is the most important position that provide a kind of dislocation. You were a fan of the basketball, I think, right? Who was a fan of the basketball? One of the boys, I'm not sure. You know, there's a very actually very popular dislocation style, dislocation of shoulder. Abduction, external rotation. When they are drawn to put the ball inside the basket. So, this is the most important position that with a kind of dislocation. Okay, please. So, which one is better to start? Isometric. Start first with isometric from the forehead, or here. That's it. Complete for four. You must start with the outer. Okay, you may start with the outer actually muscles, and after a while you can gradually heading to the local muscles. The first to third week, 2 weeks, you have time to reach the local muscle. Start with isometric, then concentrate, then eccentric, and then finally not in the 2 weeks, gradually getting up. Okay. Gentle pendular exercise, you know that there is no friction, there is no movement, there is no muscle enforcement in the pendular exercise. It's based on the gravity, pendular exercise, gravity. Front, up, forward, backward, side to side, circular, and vice versa. And the circular, gradually you're heading to increase it a little, the diameter. Okay. With no tension, just gravity to that. Okay, why? Because it's kind of secretion for kind of oil for the joint. Secretion, synovial secret, inside of joint. Good? Extension elbow, gentle pendular exercise method, done. And aware arm swing again. And
I think you're missing line.
Sorry?
In this line. The last line.
This one?
Yes.
1 to 3.
So,
That one is 4 to 6. Oh?
weight bearing.
Weight bearing, non-weight bearing, no force on there. I mean, okay. Okay, 4 to 6, you have the situation strengthening of deltoid. You can increase the concentric exercise, eccentric. Somehow, probably at the 6 weeks, you can start eccentric. Not now, at 4 months. And rotator cuff flexor and gait. Have a look at where, very small. That means your limitation is approximately lead, done. It's very small, aware. So, but cautious. Which range you must be cautious? Outer range or inner range. The middle range is okay. Okay, I'm talking about gait. Okay, the outer range is always rich at the ending time or inner range. Clear? Middle range is okay always. Okay. So there's a still non-weight if you want to miss something. And in the clavicular, at the week 6 up to 8, the limitation for abduction, extension, or rotation reached to about 80 degrees. 80 degrees. And the sampling deltoid is going to be increased, rotator cuff muscles, and everything is set. The weight is partial weight bearing. So at the end of the 8 weeks, you can have a kind of weight bearing. What does that mean for weight bearing? You can put, for instance, 1 kilogram in the middle range, not in the outer range. You reach it outer range, inner range at the ending stage, not actually at the due part. Finally, if everything will be okay from 2 months to 3 months, 8 to 12 weeks, so most of the bone healing process, fractures, most of them are reaching to a normal situation. Most of them. So you have a kind of exercises, good exercises with different kinds of the muscles. The gravity is okay, cautious about arm swing, bearing, weight bearing, full weight bearing. Just one more point. Here, if you want to use, for instance, if you have a weightlifter, Olympic, you got a kind of medal, Iraqi athlete in Olympic. Yeah, Olympic, Paris Olympic. You got an athlete. In weightlifter, I think, I'm not sure weightlifter. He wants to bring a lot of weight, bring it up. So the easy power of isometric, concentric, eccentric is not enough for him. You must bring the power of the muscle at the most. So after 3 months, you can work with isokinetic to bring most available motor point to the active situation, isokinetic. This is the ending stage of increasing power, isokinetic. Okay, everything is set. Just one more thing I must to explain it. Just one more key point, very important, ladies. So that means, first of all, we must think about the stability, which is very important. And it's very important that, okay, we know the stability, but after that, we need a kind of power, we need a kind of range of motion, we need a kind of dexterity, something like that. How long we must be very curious about the fragment, how much we must be very curious about the stability. We are talking about third cortical bridging. Cortical bridging. At the time you have a kind of cortex bridge. Okay? How much you must consider to reach cortical bridging in normal spot? If the fracture is a kind of simple fracture, so you need about 3 weeks, 18 to 20 1 day. You do remember it belongs to orthopedic disorder. You need about 3 weeks to reach third cortical bridging. And you can see third cortical bridging in X-ray. And this is the key. This is the key to identify that, okay, the fracture is healed. So I can move further. Third cortical bridging. You can hear this word times by times during this course, during these actually problems. Any question? Third cortical bridging. Any question?